Alright, so here's just a nice little example of unintended consequences as it pertains to raising taxes on the rich, or more specifically, a luxury tax in the hopes of milking the rich. Back in the 90s, there was a 10% tax placed on cars above $30,000, boats above $100,000, jewelry and furs above $10,000, and private planes above $250,000. Now, at first glance, this seems like a foolproof way to extract money from the rich. Products that only the rich tend to buy will be more expensive, and why should they care? They're rich. They'll buy it, and the luxury tax will make sure that we all get a piece of the pie. Unfortunately, there is a lot wrong with this picture. First of all, it has an extremely narrow view of just the rich, as if the rich simply have an infinitely deep pocket, and they therefore do not care about price, and don't think at all about trying to save money, or the naive view that there is no point where a rich person won't buy something because they might consider it to be frivolous. They actually might have that thought. It actually is possible to go from being rich to not being rich. That does happen all the time, in fact. And one way to make sure that happens is to be rich and buy excessive nonsense you don't need. You'll eventually find yourself in debt or a bank account that is running on fumes. Happens all the time to people who go from being rich to not being rich. But what else can happen? Well, it's back to that old law of unintended consequences. You want to place a luxury tax on high-ticket items? Well, as I said, we did that in the 90s, and guess what happened? Rich people stopped buying these products, or they switched to cheaper alternatives. Unfortunately, the effects of this are not just a reduced amount of revenue for the government from rich people not buying these products. Even worse than that, the people who are employed in these industries, the sports car manufacturers, the boat builders, etc., will lose their jobs as sales plummet. This is an example here from the 90s. When the luxury tax was passed, there was a 77% drop in sales for yachts. Because of this, there was an estimated 25,000 layoffs for boat builders. So not only did they not see tax revenue that they wanted, they also screwed over the middle-class workers by making the products they created far too expensive. And therefore, there was a huge drop in the amount of rich people that saw those yachts as being worth the price tag. Again, this is just another lesson to be learned about taxation. There is a law of unintended consequences. At best, this luxury tax came from some well-meaning politicians hoping to soak the rich, because it's the easiest thing in the world to do to make yourself feel better about yourself by advocating the extraction of more money from the wealthy. That is the easy part. But the more difficult thing to do is to think through the implications of this and realize that by adding a luxury tax on items that working class people help create, you have now just screwed over the working class. There is no longer a need for the laborer that helps create a part of the engine for the yacht. There is no more need for someone to get paid to paint a yacht, because the rich people who buy the yachts don't really want to buy them anymore because the government has made them too expensive. These well-meaning politicians artificially increase the price of those yachts, and now there is a significant decrease in the amount of people buying them, and consequently a significant decrease in the need for people to actually create them and get paid to create them, or to at least create parts of them, as it usually goes. Unintended consequences, it's the name of the game. But that's all for now. Kind of a short video today, but please like and subscribe if you liked this video. And have a good one.